Noisy times. Be with the times.
छोटों को प्यार, बड़ों को प्रणाम, नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल, आदाब. What a lovely sunny day in Sydney, and with me, Salman Khan of comedy circuit, Jeeveshu Ahlluwalia.
How are you?
Jeeveshu ji, welcome to Sydney.
Thank you so much.
An absolute pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you.
In the stand-up comedian, you rock on the stage with your own style of comedy.
Okay, yeah.
Your journey of comedy circuit has been wonderful. When you look back, which is the memory that comes first?
A lot of them. I don't think so. There's one memory that I would just discount out. I think working in a movie is obviously one of those experiences that one remembers very vividly. So, working with an experience of shooting a movie or hanging out with different aspects of actors is one of the memories that I really, really cherish. So happy for Bhag Jayegi just came last year. Actually, this year only, 24th of August. So working with Jimmy Shergill, Sonakshi, Piyush Mishra, the director Mudassar Aziz was one of those experiences I really, really remember very nicely. Yeah.
So that has been lovely.
It was really nice because I think
different experience altogether.
You realize that nobody wants to make a bad movie. So even for Deshdrohi, somebody would have worked very, very hard. So you just don't discount now of the fact that it takes a lot of hard work to make a bad movie also, and irrespective of good or bad movie, it is a lot of effort that goes into it.
Sometimes when they try to make it different and people don't digest it.
Correct.
That is a different story altogether.
Yes, it is.
जैसे आपने बोला hard work.
Yeah.
You know, सुबह से लेके शाम
It's just exactly. Like there are so many houses, there are so many groups, there are so many concepts, there are so many organizations, there are so many people who run their house from it, and it's just a different world that one doesn't experience. I mean, since you are into the creative field, I'm sure you know how camera works, how location works, how sound works, and how audios work, and so how video works and how editing goes. It's just a different ball game altogether.
You know, blood, sweat, soul.
Oh yeah. Even for a bad one, yeah.
हम लोग सिनेमा में गए, अरे यार
क्या कूड़ा बनाया है, exactly. तो अब वो नहीं करता मैं अब. So I think हाँ ठीक है, चलो इसमें मेहनत तो करी है, वही.
You know, there's no institute for stand-up comedy.
Correct.
Right, and you have come to the field.
Correct.
With your wish.
Correct.
That you wanted to be in
Correct.
it.
Correct.
You know, from call center. To stand-up comedy.
Correct.
So when did you actually realize, हाँ ये stage मेरे लिए है?
So I think you either a comic or you're not a comic. So you either have it in you or you don't have it in you. So that's why you don't have an institute to do comedy. But I'm sure each one of us is funny to at least 4 more people. Each one of us has an audience member of close group of friends or relatives who find you very funny. The decision and the changes from the drawing room to the stage. When did it happen? I don't know. I think you don't realize when it. I think there is no defined moment as to when does one get to see that transition. It just happens, and the day it happens, you know that you can't go back.
No, there was like a click.
Yeah, it just happened like that. Yeah, one snap and you're there. Yeah. So.
I think you're very, very close to your mother.
I am.
Everyone is, and
like all of us. Yeah.
She has raised you as a single
mother.
Correct.
Correct.
And you're very, very close to her.
Correct.
Do you think any of the genes from the mother?
Oh yeah, my mother is dry-witted. Yeah, my mother is extremely sarcastic, and I think anything which is tragedy and you put some time to it becomes funny. So anytime you have had a life which is full of bad decisions or tough spots or places that you didn't want to do anything and you ended up being a part of it, give it some time, and then you look back in a couple of years or weeks, months, days, and oh, ये कितना ज़्यादा funny है यार, ये तो बहुत ही सही हुआ था. So I think my mother has gone through a tough phase raising 2 kids single-handedly as a single mother you mentioned. So her way of looking at life is obviously ingrained into us, and we find it very funny to do it.
Any of the incident, you know, where she was sarcastic or funny, but you felt embarrassed?
बहुत सारी बात है. I still remember. अभी थोड़े दिन पहले I was telling her कि I was saying something. So I said कि मैं आपके बाप का नौकर नहीं हूँ. नहीं, she said कि मैं तुम्हारे बाप की नौकर नहीं हूँ. ऐसे बाप की बीवी तो कहते बकवास नहीं करी, उन्हें खाना तूने मेरे हाथों से खाना है. I love how they have the last word to it, every last minute to it. I still remember there was one of my friend at my house and वो आके कुछ रेस्टरूम वगैरह यूज़ करना था बिकॉज उसको मतलब उस एरिया में था और उसको रेस्टरूम नहीं मिल रहा था, उसको रेस्टोरेंट वगैरह में नहीं जाना था. तो मैंने तो मेरे घर में जाके रेस्टरूम यूज़ कर लिया. तो जब मैं घुसा तो वो आपस में बात कर रहे थे मम्मी और वो और
so she was there before you reached home.
Yeah, so I said, so she was respectful कि she was talking to my mother and not gone to use the restroom. And when I entered, so she got up and my mother looked at her and she turned around. She said, तुम्हारे बेटा हिप्स ही नहीं है. I said, क्या कुछ भी बोलते हो यार आप यार. She said, तो नहीं है सही तो बोला है मैं. And you realize after a certain age you can't tell them anything. They're like a child with a hand grenade in their hand. कुछ भी बोलते हैं. Exactly. So
मम्मी
it's
तो मम्मी होती है.
exactly.
You know, going back to your childhood, there are hundreds of memories
Correct.
that you want to relive. But
Correct.
if to pick one, भी यार ये मेरे को दोबारा से relive करना है.
Correct.
What would that be?
I think one of those memories that really stands out is when my mother used to be off on Sundays. She used to work Monday to Saturday, right?
अच्छा.
And Sunday was one of those days that she would take us out or give us a special treatment as a kid, you know. And since we were growing up, we were poor. Our treatment of good kids was probably bread roll, खाना मम्मी ने बना दिया, या फिर पार्क में लेके चले गए, चिल्ड्रंस पार्क में, या फिर इंडिया गेट लेके चले गए. तो वो एक संडे का आउटपुट होना और संडे का आउटलेट होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता था. या उस दिन टीवी नहीं था हमारे घर में, तो रेडियो होता था, तो मम्मी रेडियो लगा के हम गाने सुनते थे पुराने. It was a very close knit. It was probably simpler things in life are the best things that I want to go back and relive. And I still do. I mean, every day I get up, I have this caravan करके एक छोटा सा आता है, जिसके अंदर बहुत सारे पुराने गाने आते हैं. तो मैं और मेरी माँ जब कॉफ़ी पीते हैं, सुबह वो चाय पी रहे थे, मैं कॉफ़ी पी रहा था और हम वो कारवां के गाने सुन रहे होते हैं. So I still do that every day, live with her and relive those days.
You know,
Yeah.
golden days.
Yeah, golden days.
That you
Yeah. So
cherish
every single,
forever.
exactly. You want to live them as much as you can. Yeah.
You know, because you performed all over the globe.
Correct.
Right? But and within India, you got to perform. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes in South India,
Correct.
North India.
Correct.
You go to Mumbai.
Yeah.
You go to different places. See, how different is it to perform in North India versus South India?
I think largely from a southern perspective, the language can be barrier. For example, it can be a very less Hindi-oriented crowd in southern part of India as compared to a northern part of India, which is largely a Hindi-oriented crowd. But as a comic, I think you need to be dynamic, you need to be adaptable to change, you need to be adaptable to the fact that there are people who may or may not understand your sense of humor. So you need to have a touch base with the fact of what are the local references you can pull out.
अभी
How
कड़ी
do you-
वाला टच देना है कि रस वाला टच
Exactly, हाँ. तो वो I think I've always said कि there's nothing called a bad crowd. It's either a good comic or a bad comic. So the more you start doing these places, the more you start performing at such venues which is so dynamically different demographically, so from north to south, it only makes you a better human being and a better stand-up comic if you're working hard towards it. Otherwise, as anybody in the creative side is, and if they don't want to adapt and dynamic to the change fact, then they die.
I think it is the observation of a daily life.
Yeah.
आप लोग ट्रेवल कर रहे हो,
Correct.
टैक्सी में बैठ के घर जा रहे हो, घर से निकले हो, ग्रोसरी स्टोर गए हो,
Correct.
मदर के साथ बैठे हो, फ्रेंड्स के
Exactly.
साथ, you know,
Exactly.
performing in a pub.
Correct.
Is all different observations
Yeah,
that
true.
come to it,
True.
no?
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
आप लोगों को you have to be
And
vigilant.
also the kind of observations I have very massy, very middle class, very mother. I think mothers and families largely are having, they largely have the same DNA pool, irrespective of the caste, creed, sex, religion and political orientation. I think they all have the same gene pool. So, by and large उतना ही experience सबका रहा होता है. या तो किसी को उन्होंने देखा होता है महसूस करते हुए, या फिर उन्होंने खुद महसूस किया होता है, या फिर they have heard of it. So it connects.
I think observing and then expressing.
Correct.
That's what the specialty.
Exactly, the
that you
execution
have.
of it. Yeah, the execution of it. Yeah, it can be a bad joke done really nicely, can do wonders, and can be a great joke done very badly. It can die on the stage.
You know, I was reading the 35 cities
Yeah.
tour in India.
Yeah.
How was the overall experience?
So going to any city which is virgin in the fact of having performance like Aligarh or Meerut or Ghaziabad or one of the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, Mussoorie, Dehradun and all, it also gives you a fact that there are people who are very well read, very well traveled. So it opens your eyes to the fact that there is so much more you can do. India is still not explored fully. There are so many cities you can go and do your shows. And it just blows your mind away that there are people who are adaptable to the fact that you do comedy, and that is not only Kapil or Rajesh Srivastava or Sunil Pal that they want to listen to. They listen to every part of comedy that you can give it to them as long as you're good enough.
I think the platform has been there. Now
Yeah.
it's been explored more and more every day.
Correct.
You know,
correct.
more and more every day.
Correct,
you know?
correct.
Before I proceed, शुक्रगुजार हूँ मैं दीप का और सुरेंद्र जी का, जिनकी वजह से आज आपके साथ
No, I
बैठने
think
का मौका मिला.
Deep and Surender are doing a great job. I think to pull off a show in Sydney, knowing the fact that both are from Melbourne, they don't know a soul here, and to pull off a show, do the venue, get the artist, get the people, do the arrangement of food, sitting, beverages. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for somebody to go into an alien city and do this, and that only tells you the kind of commitment and the kind of sheer sacrifice one has to make this happen. So I'm eternally thankful, like you are, to make this happen.
You perform in front of an audience from
Yeah.
18 to 80
Correct.
and make everybody laugh.
Correct.
Right? any of the moment that you felt, "Arey yaar, I'm blank"?
Oh yeah. I think every comic has a bad day or a bad moment or an awkward moment, but it's just that the more you go on stage, the percentage starts increasing and decreasing similarly. For example, पहले 1 out of 2 shows मेरे खराब होता होगा तो फिर 1 out of 10 हो गया, 1 out of 20 हो गया, 1 out of 1000 होता है. Those awkward moments are always there. Yeah. I still remember I was doing a show and I was doing very clean comedy.
Achha.
I was saying something and I heard in the front row my Kaur is doing this. वो अब मेरे को आदत नहीं है चिच सुनने की, so I got very off balance. मैं ये क्या था, मैंने क्या गलत कहा, तो yeah, there are millions of these moments. Yeah.
So comedy as a genre
Correct.
has evolved over the time.
Correct.
Right, and there has been contribution for people like you and
Correct.
many more
Correct.
in the field. What more do you think we are left with that we'll see?
We'll keep doing it. I think comedy, the best part of being comic is that when I look back to my videos, when I look back at my jokes about 6 years ago, things have changed. From self-deprecating humor to easy choices of subjects have gone to probably smarter choices of words and smarter choices of topics and smarter choices of executional formats. So I think it just only increases as time goes by. So if you're a comic who's working hard, there is no dearth of good work. If you want to do lazy bit of it, then you'll probably die in a few years, few shows, few months, few weeks. I think I've always said that talent will only take you to a position A. It's the attitude that takes you from A to B. I think world is full of talented people who have not gone anywhere.
I think sometimes it's easy to reach to a success in comparison to retain that position for
I think reaching on top or reaching anywhere in point in time wherein you are successful both financially and personality wise is the easy part. To stay humble there and be nice and open about it and realizing that you need people more than they need you is the fact that you need to be very clear in your mind.
I think you're being very humble.
No, it's not. That's a fact. So let me put it this way. If you have a restaurant, are customers more important to you or are you more important to customers?
Absolutely the customers.
Exactly. So these are my customers.
So when do we see you in the Bollywood movie next?
Hopefully sometime soon. Look forward
to it. Probably if this is a Punjabi one, that would be even more
Oh
fun.
yeah. I think it's so much fun to do.
If you look at the quality of Punjabi movies, content they show.
It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Look at the execution. Look at the shoot that they do.
It's massive now. It's as good as any other movie production house in the world then.
So all of the Punjabi production houses.
Yes.
मैं की चाहना Jeeveshu. Please. What is the philosophy that you live by?
Keep it simple. Just everything is black and white. And if you want to screw this up, then screw this up. If you don't want to screw this up, you won't screw this up.
Achha, what drives you in life?
A lot of small things. Materialistic things drives me a lot. New cell phone, new car, new house, new jeans, new shoes, new watches, everything, which is small term goals. In order to do that, there are times, for example, when I say new cell phone, it can be a new cell phone for my mother. It can be a new house for my family. And when I see them sitting outside in the lawn area and basking in sun on a closey winter afternoon, it pushes me to do well. So those small materialistic goals I always keep for myself, which is probably a month later, 3 months later, 6 months later, or a year later. Also knowing the fact that everything in life is very momentary. So you always should remember that there are very few people who in life will be very happy for you. So make sure that you spend time with them and tell them how much you love them and how much you cherish.
I think the people who would be happiest the most with you will be the people who will be the most critic to you as well.
Yes and no, both. I think a lot of people, it's just that what we have to realize is that we as human beings think that everybody thinks about us and we're very important to others. The fact is no. Nobody cares about your life. Nobody gives a shit.
They have their own
siapa going on. So there will be very few people who will be very genuinely interested in your life and cherish them, hold them back, and be with them.
I agree. Scared of anything?
Always. Scared of everything. I'm scared of everything going away one day. I'm scared of dying before I do anything else in life. I'm scared of a lot of things. Losing my mother. I'm scared of losing everything which is good in life. I'm scared of people knowing the fact that whatever I do is very easy to do. Scared of the fact that people realize कि ओ इतने पैसे इसको नहीं मिलने चाहिए because ये तो हम भी कर सकते हैं. So I'm scared of a lot of things. I think that makes you be very grounded and also the same fact makes you work harder, so that you run faster and you run harder so that people don't catch up with you. Yeah.
Achha. You've been traveling all over the globe. I know that number of shows that you do in a month and all that, but you still have to take a day off or two for your holidays. If you have to go with your mother, what would be the destination that you want to go on holidays?
I think I want to take my mother to Amritsar and Darbar Sahib this time. I think she's getting old and she hasn't seen that place. And I wanted to go there and probably not ask for anything, but just thank God that it has been a great ride so far. And I want to continue, you know, one of those.
What a golden heart. What's your favorite food?
What's your favorite food? Oh, arad ki dal and chawal. Arad ki dal and chawal with hari mirch and neebu and pyaz. That's my favorite food. Desi ghee.
What's on your wish list?
Oh man, wish list is huge. My wish list is to be mobbed in any part of the world that I go to. I don't want to have a personal life at all. Wish list is to buy a Merc at some point, which is one of my dream cars. Any Merc will do. Wish list is to get married, have kids, see my mother happy. I think any normal human being's wish list is just that I'm lucky enough to cut it one by one, but I'm just following it and I just don't want to die before it completes. That's my wish list.
Look, on behalf of PG Times and me, Navniit S Anand, I really wish to have your wish list completed as soon as possible.
Thank you. So kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you so much to Deep and Surender
Yes.
for giving me a chance to sit next to Jeeveshu. आज हमने की जेवेशु से बातचीत और मैं आपका नवनीत. Jeeveshu जी, thank you so much.
Thank you
once
so
again.
much. Thank you
Good
so
to see
much. Thank you so much.
Dream big, achieve big. Gemco Sydney. Any course, any uni. www.gemcoaustralia.com.